Lieutenant Martinez got out of his car and yelled at the elderly parking attendant, "Stay away from my car! You're just civilian personnel!" The man quietly stepped back. He had been doing the same job for 15 years. Parking attendant. His name was just Kane, nothing else known. No one noticed that look in his eyes. But 2 hours later, when his name appeared in military archives, Staff Sergeant Robert Kane, legendary sniper instructor, 847 successful operations. Welcome to Silent Legends. Before we begin this powerful story of hidden expertise and forgotten service, tell me in the comments from which city you're watching today. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be remembered, hit that subscribe button and help us keep these legends alive. Fort Richardson Military Shooting Training Center opened quietly every morning at 6:30. But most people didn't notice that someone was already there before the doors opened. Robert Kane, 68 years old, gray hair, silent. He had been doing the same job for 15 years, helping cars park. Never late, never complained, never spoke. The records only said, Kane R., civilian personnel. No background, no emergency contact, as if he had appeared out of nowhere 15 years ago. The officers ignored him. He was just like furniture, present but irrelevant. But there were strange things about Kane, his posture, military disciplined, his movement, tactically aware, his eyes, sometimes, very rarely, when someone disrespected him. That look, cold, calculating, deadly. Then he'd return to normal, as if nothing had happened. But this morning was different, because Lieutenant David Martinez was coming. Martinez was 25 years old, West Point graduate, confident, impatient, arrogant. When he arrived at the center in his BMW, he was on the phone. "I'm going to get the highest score. These old guys have nothing to teach me." Kane showed him the parking spot. "You can park here, sir." Martinez hung up and looked. "Who are you to tell me what to do?" "I'm the parking attendant, sir." "You're just civilian personnel," Martinez shouted. "You can't interfere with my business." Other officers started turning around. "Stay away from my car." Martinez pointed his finger at Kane's face. "Know your place, old man." Kane quietly bowed his head. "Yes, sir." But that look appeared in his eyes, very brief, very subtle. Martinez laughed dismissively and walked inside. Kane continued his work, but something sparked in his eyes. Inside, Colonel Collins was waiting, tough, disciplined, merciless. "Lieutenant Martinez, here it's not about talking but hitting. Are you ready?" "Absolutely, ma'am. First test, 200 meters, 10 shots." Martinez fired, 62 points, below average. Again, 300 meters, this time worse, 28 points. "You have problems with breath control," Collins evaluated coldly. Martinez got angry. There must be something wrong with the rifle. "The problem is with you, Lieutenant." At that moment, Kane entered. Coffee service. "Don't talk," Martinez shouted. "Just put it down and leave." Kane put down the coffee, said nothing. But Collins was watching him. There was something about Kane's posture. In the afternoon, Martinez performed even worse. 0 hits at 500 meters. He was furious. When he saw Kane outside, he exploded. "You, come here," Kane approached. "You embarrassed me this morning. My performance was bad because of you." Kane listened silently. "Have you ever used a gun?" Martinez asked mockingly. Kane hesitated. "I have some experience, sir." Martinez laughed. "Some? I'll bet you. I'll beat you in a shooting competition." Officers gathered around. Collins intervened. "This is inappropriate." "Why, ma'am? Let the man prove himself." Kane looked at Collins. Collins nodded. "All right," Kane quietly replied. "I accept." And at that moment, everyone had no idea that history was about to witness something. A crowd gathered at the range. Young officer versus elderly parking attendant. Collins explained the rules. 5 shots, 300 meters. Highest score wins. Martinez fired first. 7, 8, 6, 9, 8 points. Total 38 out of 50. Not bad. Come on, old man, Martinez smiled. Cain took the rifle, and at that moment, everything changed. Cain's posture completely transformed. Shoulders back, spine straight. The way he held the rifle, professional, as if he'd been using weapons for 50 years. Collins was watching. The vague thought in her mind started to clarify. Cain aimed. First shot, crack, dead center, 10 points. The crowd was silent. Second shot, crack, dead center again, 10 points. Murmurs began. Third shot, 10 points. Fourth shot, 10 points. Fifth shot, 10 points. Perfect score, 50 out of 50. Dead silence. Collins checked with binoculars. 5 bullets, 1 hole. All passed through the same spot. Everyone was looking at Cain with different eyes. Cain put down the rifle, returned to his old self, as if nothing had happened. But it was too late now. That night, Collins sat in her office. Cain's shooting style wouldn't leave her mind. That position, that calmness, that precision. This was an amateur. She opened her computer, typed Cain Robert. Only civilian personnel records came up, but Collins didn't give up. She entered military archives, searched deeper. She typed sniper instructor, pages of results, but one name caught her attention. Staff Sergeant Robert Cain, 1976 മുതൽ 2011. Collins' heart raced. She opened the file. Active duty, 35 years. Successful operations, 847. Soldiers trained, 1,200 plus. Awards, Distinguished Service Cross, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, Medal of Honor. Collins held her breath. Cain, one of the most successful sniper instructors in U.S. history, served from Vietnam to Iraq. Last address, Fort Richardson area. Collins picked up the phone. General Morrison? We have an emergency. The next morning, Cain was called to the office. He wasn't wearing his parking attendant uniform anymore. Civilian clothes, but his posture was different. Staff Sergeant Cain. Collins stood up. Cain smiled. You completed your research. Why didn't you tell us? Cain sat down. Tell you what? Who you are. You're a legendary instructor. Cain was silent for a long time. Then he spoke. I lived with death for 35 years. Every day I prepared someone to die. I taught them to be the best because the best didn't die. He paused. One day I looked in the mirror. The man I saw wasn't me. I had become a war machine. I forgot how to be human. That's why I came here, to try to be a normal person. But why did you come out now? Cain's face hardened. That young man reminded me of how I used to be. Arrogant, disrespectful. I realized my work here wasn't finished yet. Collins called Martinez. Lieutenant, you lost the competition with the parking attendant. He was lucky, ma'am. It wasn't luck. Collins handed him the file. Read this. Martinez read. Page by page, his face gradually paled. Is this real? Every word. Medal of Honor, 847 operations, Staff Sergeant Robert Cain, America's most successful sniper instructor, the man you mocked. Martinez saw young Cain's photo in the file. That looked the same look. I didn't know. You didn't need to know, but you needed to show respect. Martinez stood up. I need to apologize. Martinez found Cain, still helping park cars. Staff Sergeant, Cain turned. Lieutenant Martinez. Martinez stood at attention. Sir, I want to apologize. My behavior was unacceptable. Cain nodded. It's over, David. No, sir. I thought you were a fool, but you're a legend. Cain approached. I'm not a legend, just a man doing his job. But 847 operations. I forgot them. What matters is today. What did you learn? Martinez thought. That respect has nothing to do with appearance. Exactly. From that day, Martinez changed. He began taking special lessons from Cain. Shooting isn't the same as using a gun, Cain taught. The gun is just a tool. What matters is the mind. Martinez took notes. When aiming, don't see the target, see beyond it. First lesson was breath control. Martinez tried 8 points. Good. Now position. Second shot, 9 points. Perfect. Now mind. See the bullet hitting the target. Third shot, 10 points. Martinez couldn't believe it. How had he improved so much in 20 minutes? Because I'm teaching you in 20 minutes what took me 35 years to learn. As Kane's identity spread, other officers' attitudes changed. Captain Thompson, Staff Sergeant, my father was one of your trainees. Lieutenant Rodriguez, sir, the Kane method was legendary. But Kane gave the same answer to everyone. I'm just a parking attendant. This attitude seemed strange at first, but everyone understood eventually. Kane had really changed. Kane's lessons weren't just about shooting. He gave life lessons too. When you shoot an enemy, he's someone's son, father. If you forget that, you become a monster. What was your hardest moment? Martinez asked. Kane was silent. Afghanistan, 2009. I had to shoot a young fighter. He was 16. I couldn't sleep that night. From that moment, I saw war's true face. War isn't heroism, it's necessity. When necessity ends, stop. These lessons deeply affected Martinez. A month later, important visitors came to the center. Pentagon delegation, media. We want to see Staff Sergeant Kane. Kane was called. Staff Sergeant, we want to make you an offer. Come back officially. Kane thought, General, I'm grateful, but I'm not that man anymore. Your country needs your experience. There are ways to serve my country. I chose my way. Martinez intervened. General, this man taught me life's most valuable lessons, how to be human. That's more valuable than any official position. Months passed. Kane had rejected the official offer, but continued informal mentoring. Martinez improved incredibly, but more importantly, his character changed. You can teach others now, Kane said. I'm not ready yet. You are. Remember, a teacher's job is to make the student better than himself. Kane never returned to an official position. He remained a parking attendant, but he mentored hundreds of officers. Martinez is now a successful officer. I learned my most valuable lesson from a parking attendant, he says. Kane still comes at 6:30 every morning, helps park cars, and sometimes, in special cases, teaches young officers life's most important lesson. 2 photos hang on the center's wall, young Kane and current Kane. Below, true strength comes from humility. Kane's method is now official curriculum, technique plus character. The story told to every new officer. A legend works here. You can only notice him if you're respectful. Kane never wrote a book, never appeared on TV, just served silently. Real heroes don't fight for fame. They fight for service. Martinez now teaches Kane's methods to others. A parking attendant taught me this. True greatness is humility. Kane's influence spreads in waves. Those he trained train others, and sometimes a new arrogant officer tries to disrespect Kane. Then former students intervene. Show respect to this man. He's a legend. But he's just a parking attendant. Number much more. If you're lucky, he might teach you too. Now I ask you, have you ever judged someone by their appearance? Did you act like Martinez? Did you regret it later? Share your experience in the comments. If you think stories like this deserve to be told, subscribe. Thank you for watching Silent Legends. We'll continue honoring those who serve in silence. And remember, when you meet someone who looks ordinary, look carefully. You might be talking to a legend. Because sometimes the greatest teachers don't look like teachers. Sometimes the strongest warriors work in parking lots. And sometimes the most valuable lessons come from the most unexpected places.